You've seen the clickbait, the sea animal that shocked NASA. Dramatic, sure, but the real story is better. Meet Mola tecta, the Hoodwinker sunfish, a 2-ton master of disguise that hid in plain sight for centuries, fooling scientists, not space agencies. Today we'll unravel how this fish was discovered only recently, why it's so often misidentified, and how it's quietly rewriting what we know about sunfishes. Stick around for the answer in a minute. First, what is a Hoodwinker sunfish? It's a species of ocean sunfish in the genus Mola. If the common sunfish, Mola, is the celebrity, the Hoodwinker is the elusive sibling who refuses selfies. Its Latin name, tecta, means hidden, fitting because it blended into museum drawers and beach reports for decades, mistaken for other sunfishes. Only in the late 2010s did a team finally prove it's a distinct species. How big are we talking? Adults can reach well over 2 meters long, with a body like a giant silver coin. No true tail, just a rounded paddle called a clavus. It swims with slow, powerful strokes of the dorsal and anal fins, a style that looks lazy until you realize this is one of the heaviest bony fishes on Earth. That pop quiz? True, Mola tecta was the first new molar species described in about 130 years, earning it the nickname Hoodwinker for tricking generations of experts. See if you can pick the Hoodwinker. Hint: smooth profile, no big snout or chin bump, and a distinctive backfold dividing the tail flap. That backfold is a tiny indentation of flexible skin, splitting the clavus into upper and lower panels, a quiet but reliable tell. Unlike its more lumpy cousins, the Hoodwinker keeps a sleeker, almost juvenile silhouette even when it's huge. Up close, the skin is smooth, with pale mottling. Up farther, it's a drifting monolith, sunning at the surface after deep dives. Speaking of dives, what do Hoodwinkers eat? Their gut contents are dominated by gelatinous prey like salps and siphonophores. That's right, lots of jellies. It's not junk food either. Gelatinous animals can be abundant, and big sunfishes are built to harvest them efficiently. After foraging deep in cold water, they warm up by basking near the surface, sometimes on their sides, which is where many surface sightings happen. If you guessed C, they're everywhere. You're thinking like a sunfish. Salps and jelly-like colonies can bloom massively. Hoodwinkers capitalize, scooping mouthfuls of gelatinous drifters as they cruise frontal zones and upwelling lines. It's like a conveyor belt of soft prey in the open ocean. Now, the wild origin story. For years, DNA hints suggested there was a mystery mola in the southern hemisphere, but no one could pin down what it looked like. An international team, led by researcher Marianne Nygaard, chased strandings, shipped chunks of fish across oceans, and pored over centuries-old drawings. After building a data set of specimens and images, they finally had enough morphometrics and genetics to declare a new species. They named it Mola tecta, the Hoodwinker, because it had been hiding right under our noses. If you said all of the above, you get bonus points. Where do Hoodwinkers live? The first confirmed records were from temperate southern hemisphere waters: New Zealand, southern Australia, South Africa, and Chile. For a while, that seemed to be the pattern. Then came a plot twist. In 2019, beachgoers at UC Santa Barbara's Coal Oil Point Reserve found a huge sunfish washed ashore. Locals assumed it was the common mola. Photos flew around the world, and the Hoodwinker expert herself messaged back, "Wait, send me specific angles. The clavus, the backfold, the skin." all unmistakable. It was a hoodwinker, and it was in California, a first verified record for the Northern Hemisphere in modern times. Question: was that a one-off oddball, or were we missing a bigger story? Fast forward. In 2024, a 7-foot hoodwinker washed onto an Oregon beach, likely one of the largest sampled, and researchers suggested we've probably mis-ID'd northern records for years. Community science sleuthing then added dozens more sightings, even as far north as Alaska, with several genetically verified. It's a perfect example of how smartphones plus field ID keys can redraw a range map almost overnight. Does that mean climate change is pushing hoodwinkers north? Maybe, but careful scientists say, one beaching doesn't prove a trend. What proves it is a pattern across time. And that pattern is starting to emerge thanks to crowdsourced images and targeted analyses. Answers in 10 seconds. Point 1. Myth. Point 2. Myth. Point 3. Myth. The catchy caption isn't from NASA. The verified surprise came from marine biologists on the beach. Let's clear that up. The sea animal that shocked NASA headline that follows hoodwinker videos around the internet. There's no NASA press release, paper, or mission log about sunfish shock. NASA studies oceans from space all the time. Color, temperature, sea level. But the hoodwinker story is a marine biology detective tale, not a space scandal. And honestly, the real science is cooler than any meme. Back to ID. Here's your quick field key. Hoodwinker, slim, smooth adult profile, no snout or chin bump, rounded clavus with a soft dividing backfold, fine, sparsely set conical skin elements, mottled spots. Mola, more wrinkles around the clavus, different ossicles, and no backfold. Mola alexandrini, the bumphead, giant sunfish, the forehead and chin bumps emerge with growth, and the clavus edge and keels look different. If you photograph those features clearly, experts can usually nail the ID. Life with a body like a toppled wheel isn't as awkward as it looks. Sunfishes are energy-savvy cruisers. Their thick skin and collagenous layers host a zoo of parasites, which might be why they bask and why seabirds sometimes peck at them while they're at the surface. The hoodwinker likely shares the classic sunfish routine: deep forage, surface warm-up, long commutes along currents, and opportunistic cleaning. Human encounters, strandings make the headlines, but the bigger issue is bycatch. Sunfishes often drift near gear set for other species. Regulations are catching up, and in parts of the world, you can't legally sell the meat. In the EU, for instance, products from the family Mola are not allowed on the market, grouped alongside other risky fish families, so they're not a legal seafood item there. The big picture. In just a few years, Mola tecta went from rumor to real, with a Latin name, a diagnosis, and a map that's still being colored in. It proved that even among the largest fishes on Earth, discovery is possible with persistence, collaboration, genetics, and yes, the collective eyes of anyone who carries a camera to the beach. So, did the hoodwinker shock NASA? It did something better. It forced scientists to look again and notice differences they'd been skimming over for centuries. That's science at its best: curiosity, correction, and delight when the ocean throws us a curveball. If you live along a temperate coast and see a drifting gray coin with a fin like a sail, don't assume it's the usual Mola. Grab a few clear photos, especially of the tail flap, and you might help fill in the next dot on the hoodwinker's map. The hoodwinker's lesson? Even giants can hide in plain sight, and sometimes the most astonishing discoveries aren't deep in space. They're rolling in with the tide. Thanks for watching. If you loved this, Check the description for a photo ID guide, the original species paper, and a roundup of verified northern sightings. And next time you see a shocked NASA headline, give a friendly wink. The Hoodwinker would approve.